Hello and welcome back to Titter. Stories for today will be coming from the subreddit called ChoosingBeggars. The first story we have today is from Kindly Offer with a free seat? Sure, and I'll take yours too. This one is a little long, so sit back and enjoy. This happened on Thursday and baffled me so much I thought I should share. My man, who I like to call hubby, has a little girl from a previous relationship who I call Peppa. A while ago, I learned that Peppa's school, as well as several other schools, were performing at a theater. The performances were singing, playing musical instruments, and stuff like that, and the performances lasted 2 hours. Now, due to the school not letting hubby know that Peppa was set to perform with her school group until literally a few days before the performance, he had to book the tickets last minute, and I was certain I wouldn't be able to make it. It came out of nowhere that Peppa herself would be singing with her school and I couldn't book the time off work. But luck was on my side, it would seem, because just 2 days before the performance, my boss told me that I was needed in one of the smaller stores for a few days to cover someone whose holiday had apparently been completely forgotten about. My management sucks, by the way. In this case though, I was pleased because the smaller store was closer to the theater, and that would allow me to literally hop on a bus after work, head down to the theater, and arrive with at least 15 minutes to spare. So online I went to book the tickets. As expected, the bookings were already pretty full, but I was lucky enough to have the 2 seats available right next to the 3 seats my hubby had already booked for himself and Peppa's grandparents. So I tried to book one of the 2 seats left on the row and the website wouldn't let me. It popped up with a message that read that I'd left 1 seat unoccupied and literally wouldn't let me pay for only 1 ticket. I had to buy 2 tickets. Don't ask me why, maybe it was the fault in the site. So, not exactly thrilled that I was shelling out unnecessary money for a seat I wouldn't use, but not wanting to let Pepper down since I'd already excitedly called her and told her I was coming. I booked the last 2 seats in the row. And the night of the performance arrives. I get off work and head down there with time to spare. I meet up with hubby and Peppa's grandparents and we all head in to claim our tickets. After hanging around the lobby for a little bit just chatting, we start to hear rather raised voices coming from the counter where tickets were being sold. And being nosy spectators, of course, we look over. A woman with a group of at least 7 people, kids and adults, were arguing with the ticket sales lady. She was saying how she was sure she booked enough tickets in the row she was sitting in, but the woman behind the counter had only given her 6 tickets. The woman explained that she had, in fact, only booked 6. That the site said 6, she paid for 6 and she was very sorry that they were now sold out. The woman, to her credit, didn't cause a big scene but turned to her family looking really disappointed. Then the light bulb went off inside my head and I stepped forward, useless ticket in hand. "Excuse me," I said towards the woman. One of the teenagers she had with her tapped her shoulder and pointed towards me since she was facing away from me. She turned around and I handed out my ticket with a smile. "I have an extra ticket. Here." The woman's face lit up and one of the teenagers started squealing in relief. Everyone was happy. Peace was restored upon the kingdom. Or so I thought. When the light flashed and signaled everyone to go in, we all shuffled into our respective seats. Then, the woman who I gave the ticket to showed up, arm in arm with another woman who was roughly the same age. She smiled and waved at me, and I waved back, thinking I'd just get another thank you and that would be it. Nope. "Oh hey," she said, speaking kind of loudly since people around us were still settling down. "Thank you so much for the ticket, but can I ask you a small favor?" I looked at her hesitantly. "Sure?" She grinned. "Well, I just wondered, since you were nice enough to give me your spare ticket, if you would also be willing to swap seats with a friend of mine. Both of our kids are performing tonight and we really wanted to see it together." I just stared at her, somewhat confused. I knew she was being serious, but my brain just literally kept saying, "What?" "Oh, I'm sorry, but I booked this seat next to my family," I said, gesturing to my hubby and grandparents who all waved at her. I smiled as apologetically as possible, thinking that would be the end of it. "Nope, nobody, nope." She pulled a face, something I can only describe as a pout, but it looked ridiculous on her given her age. "Oh please." I shit you not, she dragged the please like a bratty child. "I really want to sit by my friend, and I've got an aisle seat closer to the stage. It's a much better view. Please, can you swap with us?" I really don't know what to say at this point. Her friend was looking at me just as expectantly and I felt cornered. I don't do too well with situations like this and tend to be an inherent people pleaser if they persist too much. Luckily, hubby was there in a pinch. Look, she already gave you a free ticket. I think she's been generous enough, don't you? Bless his take no shit attitude. Both women looked offended. We were only asking, there's no need to be rude, the friend said rather rudely. The irony, right? Look, she said no. Now either take the free seat she offered you or you can both leave. Surprisingly, they both gave up rather quickly after that. After some muttering under their breath, the friend left and the woman I had given the ticket to slumped down beside me. I felt her beady eyes on me through the whole performance, but I didn't let it ruin my night. Pepper was great at singing, with her school by the way. The next one we have today is quite a bit shorter. It's by Babadook, titled, Your Gift to Our Wedding Wasn't Enough Cash. I've just hung up the phone with a friend, ex-friend now, whose wedding was a few weekends ago. She had a beautiful wedding, lots of guests, lots of wine and food. There were even fireworks where she and her hubby left, via yacht, to go on their honeymoon. She was ringing people, thanking them for coming to their wedding. Aw, pretty sweet, right? Wrong. She told me that the cost of having my husband and I at her wedding was far more than the miserly gift we gave her. So I tell her that we gave her $200 cash and a small designer candle that was $75. I was thinking perhaps someone stole the card with the cash. My friend has always been a bit quick to judge and can be tone-deaf rude, but she has a good heart. She says to me that it wasn't enough and that the venue charge was $250 per head, so I owed her another $300 cash. At first, I'm like, oh, she's sarcastic joking, but she was serious. She didn't consider the candle a real gift because she can't do anything with it, and it wasn't the big one that she wanted. The bigger candle was $150. For real, I let her nag at me for 5 minutes because I was so speechless. I still am. I'm from Australia and it's not common to give gifts that relate to the cost of you attending the wedding. Today I learned that it is normal in some cultures, but it's not been a thing I've encountered. $200 is a lot of money for the average person to give here. And yes, that candle really is expensive, but she wanted it. Well, the bigger version that I couldn't afford anyway, so I thought she'd be super happy about the gift. And that'll tie up this episode of Choosing Beggars. If you enjoyed the content, comment down below and subscribe.